Number 1, we're going to use our basic power rule, add 1 and divide. So we get 15x 3 over 3 minus 4x 2 over 2 plus 3x. Divide the 15 divided by 3 is 5, and the 4 divided by 2 is 2, and plus c at the end. Okay, on number 2, that x to the 6th on bottom becomes x to the negative 6. So we add 1 and divide, so that's x to the 7 over 7. X to the negative 5 over negative 5. Okay, our negative divided by a negative in the middle becomes plus. The x to the negative 5 goes to the bottom. On number 3, the square root is an understood square root, and t raised to an understood 1. The cube root is a cube root, and the t is an understood 1. So that becomes t to the 1/2 and t to the 1/3. When we add 1, we get 3/2. When you divide by 3/2, that's the same thing as multiplying by 2/3. For the second one, add 1, you get 4/3. Divide by 4/3 is multiplying by 3/4. On number 4, we're going to divide. 4x squared divided by 2x is 2x. And minus 6x divided by 2x is minus 3. Now we can use our basic power rule. Add 1, we get 2x squared over 2. Minus 3x. The 2x squared over 2 is just x squared. Okay, number 5, we have something raised to a power. So u is always what's inside. The integral of something to a power, u is going to be what's inside. So u is x to the 3rd minus 10. We always write du. So du is 3x squared dx. We have x squared in the front, but we don't have 3. So we're going to times in a 3 and multiply a 1/3 on the outside. Then we change everything to u. Okay, so 3x squared and dx is the du. So our parentheses, what's inside there is u, so we have u to the 4th. Now we can integrate. We get u to the 5th over 5 times our 1/3 is 15. Change it back to x. So u goes back to x, which is x cubed minus 10. Number 6, we also have something to the power. Okay, so u is what's inside, 7x squared plus 3. Du would be 14x dx. We need the 14, so we times in the 14 and do 1 over 14 to balance it out. So the top is du. 14x dx is all du, and we have u to the 5th on bottom. We're going to change that u to the 5th on bottom to u to the negative 5. We add 1 and divide by it, so that's u to the negative 4 over negative 4. On bottom, the 4 times 14 is 56, okay, but we have negative. The u to the negative 4 goes back down to the bottom. Okay, and then we replace u with 7x squared plus 3. On number 7, we have a definite integral because of the numbers. So we get 5x 5 over 5, which is just x to the 5th. We plug in the 4, so 4 to the 5th. Subtract. We plug in negative 1, so that's negative 1 to the 5th power. 4 to the 5th is 1024. Subtract. Negative 1 to the 5th is negative 1. Subtract negative becomes add, so we add and get 1025. Number 8, anytime you're integrating and you have a trig function, u is the angle part. So u needs to be 2x. du is 2 dx. We don't have the 2, but we can always times in a number. So we multiply a 2 and a 1/2 outside. Okay. 2 and dx is du. 2x is u. Okay, so the 2 and the dx is du. So this is sine of u right here. Okay. So we have that 1/2 on the outside. The integral of sine is negative cosine. Replace u with 2x. We said u was 2x. Now we're going to integrate. We're going to plug in our numbers. So we have negative 1/2. I like to have the number just on the outside and multiply it at the end. Okay, so we're going to replace x with pi over 2, and then we're going to replace x with pi over 4 and subtract in the middle. Okay, but it was cosine of 2x, so we need to do 2 times pi over 2 is pi for the first one. For the second one, 2 times pi over 4 is pi over 2. Okay, now the cosine of pi, okay, here's pi. The cosine is the x, so the cosine of pi is negative 1. Pi over 2 is right here at 90 degrees, so the cosine there is 0. Okay, so negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. Multiply by the negative 1/2, and we get positive 1/2. Number 9, the area. We need to find the intersection. So we set x equals to x squared. That's quadratic, so we subtract x on both sides. So we have 0 equals x squared minus x. Take out the x in common. So we get x equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. So x equals 0 and 1. Okay, so we need to see what's happening in between there. Okay, what's happening in between 0 and 1 so we know which one's on top. Okay, so plug in 0, 1/2, and 1. Y equals x is the line. Y equals x squared is the parabola. Okay, so we plot our line. Our line was 0, 0, 1/2, 1/2, and 1, 1. Our parabola is also 0, 0, and 1, 1. Okay, but the parabola has the point 1, when x equals 1/2, y equals 1/4. Okay, so there's our graph. That's the area. Y equals x, the line is higher. Okay, and they intersect at 0 and 1, so those are our limits. So x is the line minus x squared is the parabola. So that line x was higher, so that's why it's first. Okay, now we integrate, we add 1 and divide. So we get x squared over 2 minus x3 over 3. Plug in 1, so we get 1/2 and 1/3. When you plug in 0, you get 0. 1/2 minus 1/3 equals 1 over 6. Okay, number 10. Y equals x squared. Rotate about the x-axis. X squared is our parabola. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. Okay, it said x equals 3, so we need to come here all the way to the point 3, 9. Okay, this is the point, oops, sorry. This is the point 3, 9, because 3 squared equals 9. Okay, we're using discs. Okay, rotate about the x-axis, so this is our radius, which is the height, the height is x squared. Okay, using the disc method, if it says rotate about the x-axis, everything needs to be x. Okay, so we're integrating. Remember, this is pi r squared h. So our radius is x squared, and our height is dx. Okay, the dx is the height between the discs. Okay, remember, it's like we're adding up a bunch of circles. Okay, x squared squared is x4. It was between 0 and 3. Add 1 and divide by it, you get x5 over 5. Plug in 3, so that's 3 to the 5th over 5, which is 243 pi over 5. And that is the end of this review lesson.